Bitcoin bowl is all I have left. Sold my house, my gold no less. The wolves are circling my huddling hands, but this man's much stronger than the average man. Today the market has taken another dip to restock, refuel this move.
Let's unmute ourselves and say good morning. Good morning, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Anders, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a good evening. I have a glass of wine. Well, I'm not doing great, to be honest. I'm still sick, but hey, I have a glass of wine, so everything is fun then. I'm very excited to talk to you about. I want to know everything I can figure out about the CAIT token, how it works, how you issue tokens, how you buy new NFTs, the story behind it, exactly how everything we can learn about this, just to break it down. So I'm very happy to have you on today. And first, let's introduce yourself. Who is Micah and what is the director of CAIT? What's your background? Where should we start?
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Micah Dewey. I am from Canada, from Manitoba. I have some background in sports business and international business, and kind of got into crypto when I was like just in high school, and kind of let it go for a few years, lost my wallet addresses, all that fun stuff that you do when you're 19 and you don't really care. And then in the last year or so, I would say I was getting back into it more. And so originally we had started a project on Fuse, which was an Ethereum sidechain.
Yeah.
The token was called Good News Coin, which is why our collection is called Good News Coin right now. And so we started releasing a few like free NFTs to like our users and stuff like that. And we were going to bridge over to Ethereum so we could do all kinds of like more intense stuff, and ended up getting locked out of the bridge. And so we were like, well, we can't move our tokens over. So what are we going to do? So we ended up I was already on Atomic Hub making NFTs, and I was like, well, Wax seems great. And so we ended up on Wax. That's kind of like the story. It was just basically like, this seems like a great place to be. This was back in like early February this year.
Which feels like forever, but it's not that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago, but it feels like so long ago, because like of all the new projects, all the like big stuff that has kind of like popped up on Wax over the last, what is that, 5 months, 4 months, something like that. Like it seems like it's been about 3 years worth of like project development, new releases.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we have 1 year celebration of Atomic Hub in about 2 weeks from now. And there's already like 34 million NFTs or something created, which is insane. Yeah, it's just insane. The time here goes by so fast. So, okay, Micah, you said that you were doing something in sport before. What were you doing there?
So I was working for I was working for a junior hockey team. Basically running everything other than front office stuff, because there was, I think, like 4 paid employees for this small local team.
Yeah.
I did a thesis paper on sports and politics when I spent a year in Serbia. Yeah. And that was a lot of fun.
What did you do in Serbia?
I did my final year of study there for my first degree.
That's all. I've been in Serbia once, and it's an interesting place. Yeah. I love it. It's crazy. How was it for you?
I loved it. Like I took some Serbian classes while I was there to try to learn the language. It's not I was not able to pick it up in 1 year. But I do want to go back at some point. I would love to live there again. It was a great time. But
What's the most crazy thing you did in Serbia? Because you can do some crazy things there.
I went to the Partizan Red Star derby and sat in the ultra section with Partizan at Red Star. So that was definitely fun. I've got videos of like, you know, imagine like just fire and flares and all the fun stuff that goes on there, and that was definitely probably like the craziest thing that I took part in while I was there.
Awesome.
Hopefully that's not illegal to say on the
Time will tell. Time will tell. I have
right.
been warned once for doing an NFT show, so perhaps today is the second time.
Yeah,
We will
right.
see. Dark Pinup got my whole YouTube frozen for a week.
Oh
That was
no.
interesting. Yeah, and we have some nice thunder outdoors. If you wonder if that sound comes, we have a nice thunderstorm outdoors. Very cozy, very nice. Hopefully, it won't hit my house and kill all our electricity. Then we're doomed. But otherwise, we're nice. So, okay, how do you go from working on with hockey and being in Serbia to running the kite token?
So I had been, like I said, I'd started up the project originally on Fuse and found a few other people that were like wanting to build something together. And when we moved over to Wax, it was pretty slow for the first 6 weeks or so. And then we started growing team. We started adding some partners, and now we're kind of where we're at right now. So um, I do have quite a bit of background in like the on the financial side of things, and so we're trying to use CAIT as more of an educational program rather than because we're a registered nonprofit here in Canada. So everything that we get goes back into the project or back to the user base. Basically, is how it has to work. And so um, yeah, it's just we want to be able to teach people how to use these tools when we put them out, and because there's going to be overlap between our tools and what you can find on Ethereum or Dot or Polygon or whatever, it'll give you a little bit of like training, I guess, to like go, hey, so now we're using very low value tokens right now, right? So it's an easy way to go, okay, this is what's going on, this is how you can learn about it, and we're just wanting to bring like that DeFi experience to everyone and make it as open and possible for people from all over the world to get involved without having to spend, 1,000 or 10,000 US dollars or whatever to get started.
Yeah, and also the time, like the NFT space to make any money, you need to put in a lot of time. Otherwise, you're buying the wrong things. You're buying something bad. You don't understand what you're doing, and you're missing a lot of the things that you could be buying if you don't spend enough time.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's very interesting. And okay, so you're a nonprofit in Canada.
Yeah.
Since you're running a token that give out rewards or dividends or however we should see it, you usually need to have a lot of legal aspects cleared, and you might need some kind of
Yeah.
certifications or whatever boring things you have to have. How has that process been for you?
It's actually been relatively easy. So Canada has some pretty like we're very crypto friendly in Canada.
You have crypto farms for a long time, like Bitcoin
Yeah,
farms and everything. Yeah.
yeah, we have a lot of very good, very open to like the technology as a whole, and so they're trying to incentivize it rather than disincentivize it, like a lot of places have been recently. And I think that having like that side of it, it's very
Oh, we're having a rainstorm now.
oh no, rainstorm.
I don't want rain on my devices.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do
No,
that. Now it's good.
no, but I think it's just nice to have like the province of Ontario is like one of the four biggest holders of Bitcoin.
Nice.
So like they like Canada's taking this seriously, and I think that that's something that I'm really happy about as a Canadian, and I think
Yeah.
that that's something where we're able to show that like we can do this as a nonprofit, we can give back to our community, we can do all these different things, and if we can do it on this scale, somebody else can maybe do it on a bigger scale to make even a bigger impact down the road. And I think that that's kind of like where we're kind of taking this as like a first step.
Yeah, like you have one of the best tax regulations of all crypto countries. Okay, there are others that don't tax anything at all, like
Yeah.
Portugal, but doesn't necessarily have the stability that Canada might have in infrastructure. I mean, sure, I rather live in the weather of Portugal than the weather of Canada, but
This,
Canada and Sweden is pretty much the same thing.
yeah,
It's cold, it's dark, and it's short and intense summers. And yeah, but you don't tax anything until you take it out in fiat, which is
correct.
awesome.
Yeah.
If you're in Germany, for example, which is also awesome, if you hodl a token for 1 year, it is tax free, which is also very nice. So you buy things and you hold it for a year, and then you can sell it if you want. Because then it's an investment and not trading. That is awesome. In Sweden, whenever you sell or buy something, whenever you buy an NFT, wherever you sell an NFT, that's a taxable event. Whenever you do anything, whatever happens, you have to tax for it, which is crazy. They do love their taxes here. So I'm very happy to hear that the regulations are friendly for you to do such a thing, because it can be very interesting in the bookkeeping to give out tokens and dividends to people. I know that is one of the issues with companies. Not like a token that represent the same thing as a stock is hard out of the legal aspect.
Yeah, it's very hard.
And is that anything you had to explain, or did everyone that you talked to, did they understand it and just buy it from the start?
Yeah, like it hasn't really been an issue for us, which is something that I think is super cool. Like there's a co-op here where I live in Manitoba that is actually launching a cryptocurrency to serve as the um the payment system for their co-op. So if they bring in say $1 million next year, people will get that paid out in this new currency that they're putting together. I can't remember which co-op it was, but there's a co-op here that's going to be doing that, and they've
Yeah.
got everything set up and good to go. So like we have a lot of very good policies around it, I guess would be the best way to put it. Because it's less that we're like, obviously there's been a couple where it's been like, okay, you can't do that, right? Like
Yeah.
some people have tried some really shady stuff, and so there are some regulations, but like you have to, if you're following the general rules of like not screwing people and
Yeah.
being honest and transparent, then that's something that they reward you for basically by not making life a living hell.
Yeah, I wish that was the case here, man. I really do. I really do. I've spent so many hours the last few weeks just to get last year's taxes in order. And as I said just before we started, I had over 29,000 transactions to go through. That is just a crazy, crazy thing. And okay, but that's a boring subject. That's something else. So the CAIT token. What let's start with what is the long-term goal? What happens in 5-10 years? How do you see Kite at that time? Where do you see it?
So the long-term goal is basically to bring the DeFi experience to as many people as we possibly can, and to ensure that our like wax artists and partner projects that we have get their fair share, or their basic, like they should be able to make a living by doing this, because everybody, it's kind of a
Yeah.
thing that we're trying to incentivize. So through our partner programs, we have like I believe we have like 11 associated projects right now. It's either 10 or 11, I'm sorry. And we are just trying to we're trying to promote them. We're trying to get make sure that they can do this full time if that's something that they want to do. And just trying to make a bigger community, bring more people in. We're just really trying to be an inclusive place on Wax for everybody to kind of come join, hang out, talk about new projects, that kind of stuff. Like
So you're
it's
building a community that is a win-win situation for everyone involved.
yeah, that's the idea. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And what is the incentive for someone to buy and hold the Kite token?
So right now, the best incentive is that we have our liquidity rewards program, which was the first one on Wax, if I'm not mistaken. We have 3 pairs right now, which is Wax CAIT, TLM CAIT, and Dust CAIT. Dust CAIT is one of our favorite things to kind of tell people to start with, because it doesn't cost you any money. You can claim from our CAIT faucet, and you can start chatting in chat, earn dust, convert whatever you need, and you can start building your LP profile, right? So
Yeah. So
yeah,
you just go here to Alcor and you add to the liquidity pool, which I did today, and I added a large chunk of 200,000 CAIT to the pool today.
awesome.
Yeah, this is, you just go here, and what happens then? When I added the wax and CAIT, or dust and CAIT, or Trillium and CAIT, what happens then?
Yeah. So what happens is that every 3 hours we do LP reward drops, which are this week for wax CAIT, it's 55,000 CAIT over the 7 days, and then that's just split up proportionally every 3 hours. So I believe every 3 hours it spits out like 3,700 CAIT or something like that. I think that is, and so that gets split between the liquidity providers. So you've got like what, 10% there, so you're going to be getting a much larger percentage than somebody who would be holding, 0.01% or something like that. But they still would get something, and they would still be able to compound that into their pool and increase their stake as time goes on, if they want to, or they can just swap it back and get some wax or whatever to spend on the market, right?
Spend on more NFTs.
Yeah, right. Like,
can
so
never buy enough NFTs.
yeah, we might have a problem with that, but that's okay. No.
Yeah.
And so right now the liquidity rewards are like our main thing. We are going to be having token staking coming soon, once we have our UI and all that stuff kind of figured out and how we want to present it. But the contract's done, everything's ready to go. It's just working on a user-friendly interface that's not like, go to blocks, click this button.
So not like this.
Yeah.
But so here, this is a registration page where I can actually go, and I'm not registered, so I can go here and I can actually do this with my cloud wallet here, and now I'm registered. I have a transaction ID. I have a faucet here which I could. And can you explain the faucet here? What is this?
Yeah, so we also set up the first like normal faucet on Wax. I don't know if there was like something where you could like claim something randomly before, but we have basically set up so that they're auto refilling. So how it's based on our planet staking. So we stake something, it takes that Aether, swaps it to Wax, and then swaps it to the token that you want it, that it's going to be putting out. And then you can claim every hour. Now that we have this website up, it's a little bit easier than having to go to each of the separate contracts and all that fun stuff. The Aether one is every 24 hours, just because this is a brand new one, so we're trying to figure out how we're gonna organize it more or less.
Can I share this interface to people?
Yeah, totally. Yep, this is completely public now. It is going to be improved on the UI aspect, but the functionality is there now for Wax Cloud wallets. Anchor wallets will be coming probably with the next update.
Nice, because that was one of my questions.
Yeah. It was just easier to implement the cloud wallet first and then do Anchor, and
yeah, exactly. Understand how everything works and so forth. That's good. But yeah, so okay, and so if you add liquidity to the liquidity pools, you will earn CAIT. How is that? Like, how do you add values to that? Do you just mint more CAIT as you feel like it, or how do you have some kind of formula? Do you have to add some kind of wax to a contract? How does it work?
Yeah, so basically how it works is we have an Aether pool. That's like one of our main ways that we generate wax. So right now we've got I think we get like 51,000 Aether an hour. And so basically we swap that over to wax. And then when that's done, that can go into either one of our two contracts, either CAIT token res to mint more CAIT, or to CAIT token wax to just put into the reserve, so we can either back more tokens, or we can spend it to increase the overall like daily gains or whatever. So the goal right now is basically trying to get our daily gains up so that we mint the tokens a little bit faster. And like right now, I believe we're minting about 30 to 35,000 tokens a day, give or take.
Yeah.
And each of our tokens is backed by wax in reserve or in wax equivalents. So like we have like about 130,000 wax or so on our planet. We have about another 170,000 in our reserve, which includes like Alien Worlds land, uplift stuff, like that kind of. And so those back the token as like a collective art gallery, basically. And then the profits from all of that goes to mint more tokens to give out to more people, and the whole cycle kind of continues.
Okay, so you use the reward. So a few days ago, I bought a few NFT packs that contained CAIT tokens.
Yep.
Like you opened, you got NFTs, you sent them to your smart contract, and you got CAIT tokens back. The profit from those sales, are they also gone into those contracts, or how are they gonna be
Yeah.
used?
So basically, how that works is anything that is like net profit can be respent. Anything that has to go to back the tokens uh, goes into the reserve account and basically fills up one of the other two pools, the either the Our Planet staking or the general holding account. Or we have a decent amount of liquid wax as well. So people can then, if they wanted to get out, they can sell their CAIT back for that 25-to-1 ratio at any time.
Okay, so they can get back anytime. And do you count the value of your NFTs in in our planet as backing of the CAIT token as well, or only
Yes.
the wax?
Yeah,
Okay, so both. Yeah.
yeah, at a certain percentage. Yeah, it's generally a little bit lower than like the actual than the actual sale value right now. But like we have like 100 and something rigs, right? So like those are pretty easy to flip if we really need to, right? Like throw them on the market and flip it. So we kind of consider like really liquid assets like Our Planet rigs, um, maybe some of the more valuable collections like yours on Our Planet, like those I would consider to be relatively liquid assets because they generally have a pretty decent base price on like Aether per wax spent, and you can kind of extrapolate from there.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's good, and I think it also makes sense because you are in an NFT in an NFT market, but and if you count NFTs from collections that will just crash in price or don't hold any value, uh, let's say you have counted them and they go down and you have a hard time paying back. Everyone wants to have their cash refund, and you
Yep.
as a bank has problem giving people out, and the bank crashes. Or what happens?
So what we're basically doing is we're just keeping the wax level in our reserve account at a relatively high level. So I think right now we've got about 50,000 in there or so. So that would
Yeah,
basically buy back like 1.5 million right away if we really need it or something like that. It might even be higher than that. I can't do the math right now, but I think that's
yeah,
right. 1.5, 1.25 million. And so the the chances of that happening when the market on the token is higher, like on Alcor,
yeah,
is kind of low. But like,
yeah.
so it's really there for like if the price on Alcor falls below 0.04 wax, then people can just swap it back out. Um, but yeah, there's some safeguards in place there too. We also have an arbitrage bot that will buy back from our reserve if the price drops below 0.04 on Alcor to push that back up.
Okay. So if I as a user want to buy Kai tokens and the price on marketplaces are higher than the ratio, can I use your contract to get the Kai token then?
Yep, you can.
So I can always get Kai tokens by sending interacting and sending wax to your contract.
Correct. Yep. We
Ah,
just
that's
wanted to
very
make the
nice.
packs a little bit more gamified, a little bit more fun than just like going to a contract and clicking one button, getting tokens, right? Because
Yeah, you have a chance of getting a bigger cut, and like we're all gambling degenerates, so it's awesome.
yeah, and the best part about it is like, so on our first packs that we did, there was a few feel bad packs, and so on these new ones, we kind of made the limit of you're not going to get any less than 18-to-1, and you can get as high as 26 or 27-to-1, and that's just kind of like the range where before it was like from like 11-to-1 to 36 to 1 or
I
something
think
like
I
that.
think I had some of these bad bad packs.
Yeah.
For sure. I think I had, I don't know how many I bought, 20 or 25 or something, and some of them were really bad.
Yeah, Nick opened one up on stream the other day, and I was just like, "Oh no, this is why we're changing it, right?" So like, we don't want that to happen. We want people to have a good time, and we don't want it to be like,
Yeah, but that's also kind of well, for me it's exciting. For someone that put in everything they have into it, it will be a sad day. So,
yeah,
but okay, so that's good. And do you have some kind of max amount of tokens?
yeah. So it's actually pretty low. It's 25 million, and we're at
And
a.
when you reach that, how will you reward liquidity pools?
So what we're doing right now, the plan is that we'll be buying back off the market, and to increase the price of the token. So once we reach 60% funding, which is about 600,000 in reserve combined with between the three, so we're about halfway there now.
Yeah.
Once we reach there, it'll go from 70% minting to it'll go from 100% mint to 70% mint, and then the other 30% will go towards the team members. And then once we reach 100%, then it'll be basically all going back to buy back off the market or to improve technology or whatever we need to like spend money on the back end.
Yeah.
So the idea is that like it's a circular system, so we can buy the tokens back and then just keep giving tokens out to people. And the amount we buy back is directly correlated with what our profits are for that 24-hour period.
Yeah. That's good. And do you, okay? So let's just keep it to Ether because it's easy. Our planet Ether. Most people do that. Even though you have an our planet Alienverse land and everything.
Yeah.
If we just take it to the Ether, and when you get rewards, do you have some kind of ratio? How much you invest into new projects? How much you buy back CAIT tokens? Because you need to have a balance there, right?
Yeah, it's generally between like 60-40 and 80-20. So like
yeah.
We generally do like about the 60 to 80% on new stuff, and then the extra 20% goes to just buying back or adding to our reward pools or whatever we need for that week. So like right now for this week, our total like airdrops rewards was 80,000 CAIT. So as long as we have 80,000 CAIT in that account every Sunday, we can do that for now, and then that number will get higher, and then our staking will come online probably in about 2 to 3 weeks, give or take. Not 100% sure. But once both of those come online, there will be more CAIT circulating, and it'll be able to, it'll just have a better value proposition, I think, at that point. So we're hoping that the price goes up from where it's at, but like we have a price floor, so it's never going to go below that, but it'll just have to be monitored, I guess, for right now. That's, I guess, my best answer.
Yeah, okay. And your team, how do you like, okay, so you have smart contracts, you have a bunch of team members, you have all of this. How is your accounts secured on your project? Do you have multi-sig? Do you have multiple people with access to all accounts? How does that work?
So as of right now, there are two people with access to with access to the smart contracts, and those two people basically take care of that. I'm one of those people, and then we have our main dev, and then we take care of that stuff. And then as time goes on, if I ever leave or if he ever leaves, then we'll just end up doing multi-sig. I think is probably the best way to go in the future.
Yeah, because right now you have just an active key. You have just a key on the active permission on at least some of your. I haven't looked at all of your accounts, and the more value you have, that is one thing that someone like me can go in and look like. Okay, this account is not 100% set up to take away human like. Failure. We also have the social engineering. We have your dev. We have to trust that he doesn't do anything bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a dev. They're like our planet. We can see that there's a multi-sig between multiple accounts, but we can't really see who owns different keys. So there is always a trust level. So yeah, that aspect is one thing that I think should be looked over.
Okay.
Before it goes bad.
Yeah.
You want to do things before something bad happens.
Yeah.
That, like, I'm not saying that it will happen, but I'm also saying that okay, there is we have this account, we can see in the owner key is one key, and then we have the active key. At least they are two different keys. That's a positive thing. But yeah, it's probably a good idea to have some kind of security, just to add another trust layer. That doesn't mean that something can't happen with the contract. We have seen that on EOS. We have an audited contract from one of the block producers that had a big auditing firm in China auditing the code, and yet it got still compromised, which is very sad. And I think it was like $10 million or something like that got taken away from it, which is nothing we want to do. But I mean, the longer we go, if you manage to do the correct investments, you manage to invest in new projects that go like Alien Worlds 2.0, the next Alien World, or the next Our Planet or whatever, and the value keep going up. It's good to have these kind of things set up and thought out before needed. Like at what point do we have a trusted dev? At what point does his trust or liability goes against the value of the account and everything? Like if we take Our Planet, for example, how many tokens is there? NFTs are there in Our Planet right now? It is I don't know how many there are. It's millions.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah. And we don't want anything bad to happen there.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with you that is something that we should look into, and I appreciate that, because it's kind of something that I had thought about, but I was like, I trust the guy a lot, so I'm not worried about that. It's just probably better for perception.
And also, if you have taken the right steps, at least you can have plausible deniability and everything if something happens.
Yeah.
So that's good. But okay, so the CAIT token, you will about between 60 and 80% you will reinvest in new NFTs. Do you have some kind of plan for that? Like, okay, you have one Alien World land right now. The goal is to have 5 in the coming months, or do you just see what it is released, and if it looks interesting and then buy it and hope for returns? Do you also buy and sell NFTs, or do you focus on the staking and passive rewards?
So I try to focus on the passive rewards because it's just easier. It's less hassle. But there are others that like so like today we got into Nova Rally and the Meteor thing. I thought those were both pretty cool concepts. One of our more recent ones was Metal War Game before it kind of got crazy. So like I bought like a handful of wolves at like 80 wax or something like that, and hamsters at like 600 or something like that. So like it's just trying to time it and get in early and do a lot of research. Like I probably spend way more time researching projects than I really should, but it's just it's fun. And it helps, and then we can give that information to our user base and go, hey, this is what we think about this. It may not, right? Like it's not financial advice, but like this is what I personally think about this project and where it could be going in the future and why we purchased it and what you think about that, right? Like, and so there's a lot of like, I don't know, it's partially instinct and partially just straight research. Like, so on some of them, and some of them it's also because like, hey, I like that, right? Like it's cool, and we want to support people, right? Like that's kind of the point here. We want to support people, and we want to make sure that people that are putting in the effort and putting in the time get rewarded for that. And so there's been a few where it's been like, yeah, let's just buy a dozen packs or whatever, because 50 wax isn't going to make that big of a deal to me, but it might make that big of a deal to somebody else, right? So like I think that that's part of it too.
Yeah, and it's like I tend to, some days I just go and look what's fun, and I just buy some NFTs, and if I usually try to make sure that I can locate the artist, or I can locate the team. If I cannot find out enough about the team, it's a hard no for me. yeah, that's probably how I look at it, and I really audit, like, are they actually working with the community? Are they trying to build something up? Do they have some background? Are they open about who they are, where they live? Like, you have on just on this interview, you had said which country you are from, which city you are from, how you are built up, and everything. So that adds a layer of trust to the project, because we can at least a little bit more assume that the person behind it is a legit person trying their best to do something. Then we don't know what will happen in 3 months or 6 months or 12 months. That is part of investing in something, and part about the early stages investor of anything.
Yeah.
There's a plan, but anything can happen in life. I mean, you get hit by a hockey stick on your on at your workplace. I don't know, but yeah, anything can happen. You live in Canada, so probably a polar bear attacks you, and when you go and swim, there's a killer whale eating a seal, and it takes you as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
Just another day in Canada, right?
Right. Yeah, no, I think it's just an important thing to do, right? Like we want to be able to be as transparent as possible. Like if you look hard enough, my address is online, you can find it, right? Like because we want that to be I want to be held accountable if something goes wrong, right? Like it's not just a no, I'm honest about that, because it's like I feel like there's a lot of projects, a lot of it's not really that big of a thing on Wax, but like on certain other chains that I will not name, there are a lot of projects where it's like, hey, just put this up let's just put it up and see if we can get a bunch of money from people. And that's not the goal here. The goal is to make a community, and the goal is to teach people, and the goal is to kind of grow everybody else as a whole, right? And I think if you were to ask me how the first 3 months have gone, I would say that it's actually been way better than I expected it was going to be. Because like when
Yeah,
we
I heard somewhere that you wanted to reach your funding goal by next year sometime,
yeah, yeah, we're
and
pretty
you're
close.
already halfway there.
Yeah, we're definitely on track to exceed expectations, and that's something that I am both proud of and excited about. Because
But okay, so you are a non-profit. At what point in time are you able to take out any money to continue to work on this?
so we're not taking out anything other than for like, so we pay out our team members bounties in either CAIT or Wax, depending on what they do. So like, I guess it's on the blockchain, so you can definitely find it. But like, so for the packs that we released, Super Puff did the art for like the design for it, and so we sent him a decent amount of Wax as a thank you. And our contract dev, he gets paid whenever we get a new contract done, right? And so like we're kind of on a piecework model right now, as long as, and but if we don't have extra Wax to spend per se, then we don't have any extra Wax to spend, right? Like it doesn't. It's just kind of a uh, our sales are generally like our pack sales are generally just to be able to mint more tokens. They're not really to make money, but when we do that, it also accelerates the program faster, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and so Christian Oden says, "Wait, we get paid out? What?" So, like a long-term plan. If you're gonna run this, you need to get paid for it. So, do
Yeah.
you have anything like, okay, we are getting everything started right now. What happens later? How are you gonna fund yourself and the other team members so this can continue going and add value?
Yeah, so basically we will be so on the once we reach 100% mint, so like once we've got that 25 million CAIT tokens out there and a million in reserve, about it'll be probably be about 50-50 on our profits to what we reinvest, what we buy back, and then sorry, split to three. What we buy back, what we reinvest, and then what goes to the team. That's
Yeah.
kind of the plan as of right now. And then the first point of that would be our once we reach that 60% goal, then some of the team will get their percentage of CAIT tokens at that point.
Yeah, okay,
And
that's good. And because you really need to pay people to keep the incentive, and
yeah,
at some, like, you can do something out of passion and because it's fun, but at some point you also need to get paid for rent or for food and everything. And if you can't
yeah,
do that, you will have to put your time elsewhere, and that's not healthy for the long term of the project.
yeah. And
Uh,
we're trying to accelerate it so we can get to that point a little bit quicker. Because that's 100% true. Like I would much rather be doing this all day, every day than anything else right now. So like it's definitely motivational for me at
yeah.
least. And so to try to get to that point where, hey, we're doing this, we're getting all this stuff done, we're bringing in new people, we're doing X, Y, or Z, whatever, and I get to do that and get paid for it, like that would be really, really cool. And so that's kind of like my personal goal right now, is to try to get this as good as we possibly can so that we can start really, really making a material difference in people's lives, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's it's very important. It's very important to actually pay the people that work for things. It can't be understated. So okay, so this is the plan, and you're right now you're buying pack sales, and you're buying NFTs, and you're buying Alienware lands, and that's not from packs, because I'm pretty sure that you rather buy an Alienware land right now than buying a pack in hopes to get one of the rare ones.
Mm-hmm.
So everything here is on Wax. Are you looking at other NFT blockchains? Are you looking at other passive? Like there are also DeFi projects that you could
Mm-hmm.
potentially buy just to add more of this, and then buy Wax with that and send out to people. Do you have any long-term plans there?
So yes, and kind of. We're looking at long term, maybe a bridge to BSC, like they have for Trillium, possibly doing something like that in the future. And then when ETH 2.0 launches, if it actually ever launches, then that might be a second option. Um, but we're basically just focused on Wax at the moment. Like we don't like the I guess the long-term project goal is like for like how everything would work would basically be, we want to be like Pancake Swap or something like that on Wax. Like we want to have like all that functionality. We want to be able to bring in new tokens. We want to be able to offer people rewards on their own tokens. Like we want to be able to just build up as many things as we possibly can, to basically bring DeFi to Wax in the best possible way. And yeah.
Nice. Are there any regulations for Canadians to open up exchanges or open up some kind of decentralized exchange like PancakeSwap or DeFi Box on EOS or something like that?
So as far as an exchange, only if it is an order book exchange. So like we can run a swap, but we could not run like the market side on our own site. For that, we'll have to use Alcor. Um,
Okay.
I mean, we could technically do it, but it's probably not worth the effort, if I'm going to be completely honest, based on everything that I've been reading and the people I've been talking to. So I would say more than likely it'll be swap based, and it won't be market based. It won't be order book based, because that's just a lot more. You have to have KYC, you have to have AML, you have to have all that stuff to like prevent it. Whereas if it's completely decentralized and based on liquidity pools, there's not really as much of a regulatory burden on us. And
Yeah.
maybe in the future, we end up doing a full exchange, but at the moment, that's not really the goal.
Yeah, and Christian Oden is saying that I should come, and now that I have a lot of CAIT tokens, I should come to your Telegram chat. And I just said that I got banned from it today because I was shilling my own YouTube. Uh, I joined, and then the first thing I did was posting a link, which is usually what scammers or automated bot does, which means I got hit by that. But I'm sorted now, so I'm not banned anymore. It was just a little bit fun.
Yeah, we got you back in there.
It was a fun day, but yeah. So okay, so you are doing this, and let me see. I had a few more questions that I can't find in my head right now. But you are also like rebuilding your website.
Yes,
This is the one that is public right now.
correct.
And we have another one that we can find that is not, that is going to be redone as well.
Yes, yeah. The other one that you can probably find without much hassle is definitely not done and is definitely being completely overhauled as we speak right now. So, yeah.
Well, okay, what is the kite token account?
For our holdings, it's
Yes.
A2DR2 .wham. Yeah,
You're having it in a cloud wallet?
for now.
Interesting. Wow. So we have 1900 tokens here, and that is not even counting the ones you have in.
Our planet, yeah.
Exactly. So let me find this. We should be down at the bottom somewhere, I guess. We have an alien world land somewhere. Alien world land. Here we have it.
Yep.
On the wrong planet.
Oh.
But it's a pink one. It's good. So yeah, you want to focus on wax. Do you have any project like buying more alien world lands has been a good idea for the last few months. It is, however, pricey to buy alien world lands. Is the plan to get more if you can, or are you happy that you at least have one now?
I would say for right now, at this moment in time, I'm just ecstatic that we got our first one. And so if we can end up getting another one, that would be cool. One thing that I'm looking into doing a little bit more of is with Uplift. I think that they have a really fun plan and everything. And I think it's going to be great when it's all live and people can go on and just play. It'll be cool. And so we have our one plot, and then we have those three our planet lands, and then we also have one more in one of the faucets right now.
Yeah, but I couldn't find any uplift. Yeah, there. Uplift.
Yeah, we just have the one right now on our main account, on this account, and then a couple of our team members have plots too, so they've been building stuff, and this one is generally more for fun and hoping that it goes up in the future and that it's just a good buy. One thing that we do have quite a few of is the collect keys from the collect whale, but those are all obviously in our planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have these possible. I got so annoyed by these, so I just sent them all out to slice holders. There are so many like, oh, I'm not gonna do this, and I just sent them all out. I was too tired of it. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered about doing that. Lazy guy.
Batteries died.
Yeah, that's good. So okay, out of everything we have talked about, is there something outside of this that you want to mention? Something that you're working on? Something that will happen very soon?
So we did just get listed on DApp Radar. We're the first DeFi on Wax to be listed on DApp Radar. It's being updated right now because I submitted that like 3 months ago, and now they're like, "Hey, by the way, you're on." I'm like, "Oh, okay. We have more smart contracts we need to add," and that it said expect a 24-hour wait, and it's been 2 or 3 days now, and it still hasn't been updated. So I don't know exactly when that's going to be updated, but we are on DApp Radar now, and we'll be dropping special NFTs from our land at some point in the next week or two, give or take. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to be starting, but I'll let everybody know in our chat when that's ready. And then we have our full launch for the project on July 1st, which we'll open up markets on Alcor. So it'll be Wax CAIT, TLM CAIT, and Dust CAIT for now. And those three will be opened on July 1st. And yeah, we're just we also have our pack drop that we did, like you've been talking about. We did our pack drop on Friday or yesterday. Is that yesterday? Yeah. Jesus, wow. Yeah. It's been a busy week. And so yeah, we just have things trickling in at the moment. We're trying to finish up all of our website stuff, trying to make everything look nice for like our full release here in a few weeks, and yeah, moving forward.
That's nice. Yeah, that's good. And so, yeah, I guess most people want to use an order book. And Yeah, I guess that it's a good thing. Like I would love to have the liquidity pool grow, but it's also hard because you also have there's a risk of adding liquidity to a pool because you can I lost the word for it. It is
Impermanent loss. Yeah.
impermanent loss, exactly. Where you might end up with a lot of worthless token at the end. But then again, this kite and wax token, at least you have a ratio where you can at least get something back, so you will not get lose everything.
Correct. Yeah.
That's a good aspect actually. Yeah, exactly. Impermanent loss, not giving it, is also adding it in the chat. Yeah, so that's nice, and yeah, I think that's good. I think right now I'm out of questions. I might have more that I haven't thought up right now, but then perhaps I will have to invite you back when more things has been launched and everything is up and running.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That's very exciting, and I love that there is a hard cap of the token, and when that is done, you will buy from the market, which will incentivize everything. And that is clear and communicated from the start, and not something that changes later. So that's great.
One important thing to note is that right now, I always tell people to focus more on the quantity of tokens than the price of the token right now, because that price will eventually go up once we reach that goal. And so having basically just earning as much through our different programs, through the faucet, through the LP rewards, through our packs, whatever, those will offer a better reward down the road than they are right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you have any plan to write out like a long-term boring paper of how you intend to use all the rewards and all the investments, and how you intend to pay the teams, intended like salaries for the team, how much you intend to earn, or all of these things? Will that be written down in some kind of white paper or something like that?
Yeah, we currently have our white paper up, our technical white paper up. It's about 14 pages as of right now. I expect it when it's fully done to be probably in the 40 to 50 page range. And it's a live document. We've basically added all of we've added the basic roadmap, we've added tokenomics, we've added our governance system, and a bunch of other things into there, like our partnership and all that kind of stuff. And basically now after launch, I'm going to be getting back into that and adding more to it as time goes on. And we have a change log in there. So like every change is noted. You can go back and say, hey, okay, this is what happened there.
That's nice.
Basically we have our governance system, which basically allows people to make changes to direct changes to the white paper through a vote of CAIT holders, if that makes sense. So the whole idea is just, it's a community-based system. We're just trying to give that basic structure, and then we'll let the community kind of go, hey, this is what we want to do with this. We want another land. We don't really care that much about our plant this month or whatever.
We want to be the number one landholder on Alien Worlds.
You never know if that's what they want.
You need to take JR's place.
I mean, if that's what they want, that's what they want. And if it's possible down the road, hey, you never know, right? I won't count anything out.
Okay, so anyone listening to this and watching this, if they want to help participate in some way, is that something you are looking for, something you want help with, anything? Oh, he's gone. What happened? He said no. What happened here? And okay, let's just do this for now. I don't know what happened. I don't know if my internet dropped. I don't think so. My internet seems to still be here. It looks like Micah has just died on us. I know that he was in a hotel, so yeah, his computer died. But we were almost done anyway, so that's great. If you want to reach this team, if you want to find out more, you can find out every information in the description. We have linked their Twitter, to their Telegram, and to their website. So everything there is all good to go. Right now, I will finish my glass of wine and I will go and look at some more fun investments that I can do in the Wax ecosystem. So we have CAIT token on Twitter, we have Telegram and everything. And well, I right now have 10% off the liquidity pool on Alcor, so I don't think that amount will last long. I think we will have some big whales coming in and taking that. We will see what happens. That's it for me for today. Peace.
My Bitcoin bowl is